We are in the Borough tonight to wrap up match week 17 of USL League One, where a sputtering Tormenta side looks to climb out of a recent rut against a Northern Colorado side streaking with other ideas. You're watching USL League One on ESPN+. We say hello and welcome here from Statesboro, Georgia tonight. Sam Goldfarb, excited to bring you all of the action. You get your look at the League One table, huge six-pointer around the playoff line. Any sort of result can pull Tormenta into the top 8. Meanwhile, a Northern Colorado side with 4 consecutive victories in all competitions can establish more separation with 3 points on the road this evening. Well, for Tormenta, it has been a major struggle. A team under Ian Cameron that has won just 1 of its last 12 matches in all competitions. And the biggest issue has been protecting leads. A side that has dropped points from winning positions in each of the last 3 matches. They cannot afford to do that tonight against a Northern Colorado side that is elite on the counter. They've got some bugaboos to overcome, to say the least. Well, looking at Tormenta, part of the struggles has been the departure of Nick Akoto. They've brought in 2 USL League One veterans to address that. Aaron Walker, the experienced former Greenville man, slotting into the midfield on July 25th. And Curtis Thorne signed this week, a former USL League One champion from Tormenta's 2022 campaign. Both of them in the squad tonight. And they've got their hands full. This is a Northern Colorado side that has hit the ground running the last few months, and in large part due to Bruno Rendon and Ethan Horde, 2 players that have combined for over half of Northern Colorado's goals this season in all comps, and 2 players that have just been hidden gems the last couple years, especially Horde, former trialist, who has become one of the top number 9s in the entirety of the league. This is a 2-headed monster to cope with if you're Tormenta. But what's weird about Northern Colorado is, despite the dynamism, it hasn't quite translated to league play. A team that, despite playing more league matches, is last in the league in goals scored. Meanwhile, in the Jägermeister Cup, they've bagged multiple goals in every game, and they've scored the most of any League One team. It is the weirdest disparity you will see in the league this year. Well, we are just about set for kickoff from Tormenta Stadium. Ian Cameron's squad looking to get back on track. Eamon Zayed's bunch looking to continue their winning ways. Stick with us. Lineups and kickoff next on ESPN+.
I need to try it first.
Are you suffering from hip or knee pain? Don't let the pain hold you back. The region's most experienced robotic joint replacement team at Optum Health System offers an individually tailored approach that is more precise and creates smaller incisions. For you, that can mean a faster recovery with less pain. Your comeback starts here. Call today to find out if robotic-assisted joint replacement is right for you.
The Clubhouse in Statesboro, Southeast Georgia's best place to play. The Clubhouse in Statesboro, where fun is done.
Hi, I'm Michelle Smith-Lang from Kids World Learning Center here in Statesboro, Georgia. Let us take care of all of your child care needs here at Kids World Learning Center, from your infants all the way to your after-schoolers. We also have a summer camp and holiday camp for those older children. And we have our brand new bus for our field trips, for the children to have fun and to learn and to explore new things all around our beautiful county. Thank you for trusting us with your most prized possessions.
At Savannah Hilton Head International, you can choose from 11 different airlines, including Southwest Airlines, Breeze Airways, and Avelo Airlines. With up to 70 daily nonstop departures and over 30 nonstop destinations, Savannah Hilton Head International gives you more choices for a travel plan that fits your needs. Savannah Hilton Head International. Visit flysav.com.
We welcome you back to Tormenta Stadium, where we are just about set for kickoff between South Georgia Tormenta and Northern Colorado Hailstorm. A huge six-pointer around the playoff line to wrap up the match week here tonight. And jumping into the 11s tonight for Tormenta, a team that has made just 2 changes from the draw at Richmond in the Jägermeister Cup last week. Still the 4-4-2. Josh Ramos slots into the left back spot, and Pedro Fonseca returns up top, a player who has hit his stride the last few weeks, now with 5 goals in league play. Himself and Vivas, one of the more feared strike partnerships in USL League One for Ian Cameron's side. On the other side of things, for Ayman Zayed's bunch, they've made 5 changes following a 3-1 victory over Spokane. The notable re-additions are Ethan Horde and Bruno Rendon, who were second-half substitutes last week. Also Billy King, a former standout last season who's still looking to come up to scratch, slides in on the left flank. They've changed formation to a 4-3-3 as well, so we will see how they fare tonight. We are just about set to get things underway here from Tormenta Stadium in Statesboro, Georgia, as Ayman Zayed's bunch looks to notch a 5th consecutive win in all competitions. Well, Tormenta is in their usual black with blue smatterings across the front. Northern Colorado in the white with black numbers, their traditional away kits. Referee gives us the signal, and we are underway here from Tormenta Stadium. A Tormenta squad desperate to get back in the win column, have not won in over a month. A Northern Colorado side that has been racking up goals and wins for fun of late. Something has to give here tonight. For Tormenta, Ian Cameron's mentioned, his teams have been on top of late. They bossed possession last week against Richmond in the Jägermeister Cup. But they've lamented their inability to protect leads. We mentioned it off the top. That has been their biggest bugaboo in this recent run. For Northern Colorado, they are a team that bangs in goals and is so dynamic on the counter. So this will be quite the test for the hosts tonight. Here's Aaron Walker, the aforementioned former Greenville veteran. Steedman. He plays this wide. Some space for Josh Ramos. It is a new wing partnership, Ramos and Spengler on the left flank. 2 relatively young lads in their first seasons out of college. Ian Cameron's just looking for the right combination of players, especially in the wake of Nick Akoto's departure. Still many things to sort out as they look to notch their first victory since July 13th. There is Spengler, switching the play nicely to Kilwine. Vivas, a danger man up front with 11 goals in all competitions. And here is Callum Stretch. He has room to cross this. Well, early on, you're seeing the possessional supremacy from Tormenta. That was a goal that Ian Cameron made very sure to reiterate on the phone this week. Has mentioned that they are trying to overwhelm teams with their possession, especially given the loss of some of their key counterattacking pieces. They've added players who will help obtain more of the ball. And now it becomes a question of whether they can translate that to goals on the pitch. Last week, some frustration despite having nearly 60% of the ball. Northern Colorado's happy to cede the possession. So the question is, can they break down a defense that has been so sound and a counterattacking infrastructure that has yielded goals in droves of late? Stretch. 3 minutes gone and no slight semblance of possession from Northern Colorado just yet. And it's clear the way the run of play will transpire over these 90 minutes. Northern Colorado will have to pick and choose its spots. It did so expertly on Tuesday night in its victory at Spokane. Has been a busy week though, traveling from one coast to the other to compete in about a 5-day span. This is Stretch. It's a flashing cross. Deflected away by Evans. Not only as far as Jake Dengler. Steedman. Spengler, the former USF star, darting inside, unleashes one, and Lalo Delgado's first test is not a difficult one. So they'll come back to the earlier foul, it seems. Northern Colorado man down. It appears that is Billy King. Well, King came off worse for wear in this coming together. You see him and Steedman. Didn't appear to be a ton of contact, admittedly, but enough to draw the referee's ire after the fact. A man who is just slowly working his way back into the 11. Currently limping. Billy King, man, making just his 6th league start. Someone who was a revelation last year in his debut campaign with Northern Colorado. They'll leave him out there for now. Rendon. For Northern Colorado, back-to-back 3-1 victories entering today, 4 consecutive wins in all competitions. Against Spokane, it was hard fought. 0-0 at halftime. They got pegged back around the 50-minute mark after Rendon opened the scoring off the bench. From there, they had to scratch and claw. It wound up being Noah Powder's 77th minute winner that did the trick, and they added insurance from the penalty spot in the closing embers, but got their work cut out for them tonight. Vivas wins this back and has space. Sebastian Vivas! Delgado passes his first proper challenge. Not dragged enough to the far post. And the league's leading clean sheet provider last season steps up. Gill threads it through to Rendon. The first foray into the final third for Northern Colorado, and it is a corner kick. Well, an early chance here for Vivas. He just shrugs off Breck Evans. Was awaiting support that never came and ultimately tried to go to the far stick. Just couldn't quite place it properly. Delgado had it covered, it seems.
7th minute of play, yellow card issued to Northern Colorado Hailstorm, number 2, Breck Evans.
And Evans is cautioned as well, likely for the last-ditch challenge on Vivas. Perhaps fortunate as well, Vivas didn't go down, or we could be having a different conversation. Either way, early corner on the way for Northern Colorado. Their first sojourn into Tormenta's penalty area. Here is the outswinger from Martinez. Cleared only as far as Real Gil. And back to Martinez. Still loose. Comes to the edge of the area. And a flashing effort from Garcia. At least troubles Romig. Well, both keepers called into action for pretty glaring opportunities. David Garcia, you don't see him concentrated that far up often. The center back with Northern Colorado's first proper opportunity. Either way, Drew Romig, the new addition at goalkeeper with Ford Parker out the last 8 matches, steps up in a big way. Someone who's filled the void nicely. Ian Cameron has mentioned that it is an active goalkeeping battle between the two. It was before Parker's lower body injury. Says Romig has been solid. There are areas of his game they are still trying to fine-tune, but he's very young at just 27 years old. Just in his 4th pro season, so plenty of time to develop, and a goalkeeper's lifespan extends well beyond your 30s if all breaks right. Someone who has held his own in the absence of the number 1. It's been a 1-1A situation for the bulk of the year, according to Ian Cameron. Fonseca. It's read well by Garcia. Cleared over to Horde, his first touch of the match. And got a bit overzealous. Didn't use the support in his midst. Watson. It's opening up here for Tormenta. And Tormenta has its first corner of the match. Two sides with dynamic attacking personnel. It's been end-to-end early. No surprise that both teams have thrown caution to the wind on the break. Steedman getting set to take the first corner of the night for the Ibises. Man who spent the last 2 seasons as a free agent. In swing here. Punched away by Delgado. Only as far as Spangler, and comes to the edge for Walker. Delgado saw it late, but did just enough. Early bombardment on the Northern Colorado man, who may have taken some grass blades in the eye as well. It's not a great corner. It comes a little tight on Delgado. Spangler has the foresight to lay this off. And then the deflection on the effort from Walker at least draws Delgado into a difficult situation. He coped with it well, though. Man who last season anchored one of the better back lines in the league. A big reason, outside, of course, of Trevor Ammon and Arthur Rogers, why this Northern Colorado team finished the year 3rd and made its way to the semifinals. This season, the numbers haven't quite carried over. Save rate that's just a tick above 50%. And really hasn't been called into action much. But here tonight has passed early tests with flying colors. Just over 10 gone here from Statesboro, a 5,300 seat venue that was finished up at the tail end of 2022. Has already hosted a USL League One championship team 2 years ago, winning the final here against Chattanooga. It's still a relatively new venue, one of the better carpets in the league though, all things considered. Delgado still seems to be dealing with the after effects of whatever flew in his eye on that Walker effort. But it is a pristine venue, one of the smaller professional sports markets in the country in Statesboro, Georgia. This is the crown jewel of the soccer community in the Peach State. Flick on header towards Martinez and claimed comfortably by Romig. Stretch. Very involved early on. And this is Ramos. Dropping the shoulder, skipping beyond Gill. Well, you see that number on your screen. It's very glaring. A Tormenta side that, as Ian Cameron emphasized, they want to dominate the ball more than they have. He said 50% is the magic number, but they want to be well above that. That's when he feels they're at their best in the final third. They don't do well with limited possession. Northern Colorado, they only possess the ball for just shy of 40% of the match on Tuesday night. This is a team that loves to counter, so this is playing into many pre-game prognostications. The question is, can Tormenta break down one of the better backlines in the league? It's been the magic question for many Hailstorm foes this season. Well, approaching the quarter of an hour mark. Tormenta trying to break down Northern Colorado. The Hailstorm have had a few half chances on the counter. Vivas. This is Fonseca, the former Louisville Cardinal. Looking over the top now for Spengler. It's a heavy touch that falls for Oprah. Smashed away only as far as Kilwine. Look how pinned in Northern Colorado is at the moment. The entirety of the team well beyond the halfway line. Stretch. This is Spengler, one of the better players in the American Athletic Conference a season ago. It's a tough adjustment. A lot of promising young lads hit a wall around this point in the season, just due to lack of experience in long campaigns as the flag is raised against Martinez. The high line so far paying dividends for Tormenta. Fans, a USL League One matchup kicks off September coverage on the CBS Sports Network. Players Shield holder Union Omaha visits newcomer Spokane Velocity in their first ever regular season clash, September 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. Well, speaking of first clashes, this is the first clash of the season between Tormenta and Northern Colorado. They will meet once more before we come to a close. It is a long trek from Windsor to Statesboro, one of the longest in the league. And as such, they don't meet much. Tormenta with just one win in the first 6 meetings between these two squads. It came in 2022, before this stadium was opened, might I add. So it has been quite some time since the Ibises were able to steal 3 points off of Northern Colorado. Last year, managed just 1 point from 3 meetings. Here's Walker. Driving it wide and fine stretch. Comes across. Fonseca had a good look at it and it just skipped over the bar. Best chance in the match goes begging for Tormenta. Well, they're twisting the screws. What a progressive ball that was from Walker. And then the first time cutback, which does find Fonseca in a decent bit of space. He's just unable to keep it down. But that man in the final third has been far more prolific the last few weeks than the first couple months of the season. And you would fancy him to bury it at the next time of asking. Spengler slithering ahead. Read authoritatively by Garcia. And now looking long for Horde. All the way off his line is Romig. Much needed relief, though, for Northern Colorado. They've been pinned deep for almost all of this match so far. That man would be the man you tip to finish on the counter. Ethan Horde, 10 goals in all competitions in his first professional season. Someone who, as we mentioned off the top, began his professional career as a preseason trialist. scored multiple times in a pair of preseason matches, earned himself the contract, and has been the hidden gem of the USL League One campaign so far. They look for him here, and the flick on is just smashed away towards Callum Stretch. Number 20 in white has been one of the most impressive stories in this league this season. Gill unable to thread it through to Horde. Rendon. He is now an established commodity. It is amazing when you look at this Northern Colorado side. Under Ayman Zayed in his 3 seasons, it has always been built on prolific attacking outputs. Last year, one of the best attacks in the league, and it was largely due to the performances of Trevor Ammon, who set the record for single-season goals, and of course Arthur Rogers was also a big supplier of those. Now both have made the leap to the USL Championship, and there were growing pains early in the year. But when you look at how this team has continued to produce at a high clip, especially out of league play, it has been incredibly impressive. It's a testament to the attack-oriented system Ayman Zayed's put in place, and a testament to the patience of these players, because it was a slow start to the year. A team that managed just 2 goals in the first 4 league matches. And while the league numbers still have yet to fully come to the norm, they have been far improved these last few months. And the Jägermeister Cup performances pretty much tell that story. A rare spell of extended possession here for the Hailstorm. Horde is fouled in the act. This is a team that just produces players with massive goal outputs, and you're seeing that with the likes of Rendon and Horde thriving. "20 minutes gone here from Tormenta Stadium. Both teams still feeling each other out. Tormenta has opted to be the aggressor, although Northern Colorado growing into it from a possessional standpoint. This is Oprah, and now Dietrich. Flashing ahead. Long-range effort from King. Deflected away into the path of Fonseca. Spengler. Here is Chelo Martinez. He's played 6 different seasons with 4 different USL clubs. A veteran, despite being around 27 years old. Gill, tripped up. Yamazaki.
Not a foul. That's not a foul. What game are you watching? It's your official warning. Because I asked you what game you're watching. What game you're watching. Because I asked you what game you're watching. Because I asked you what game you're watching. Well, you're acting professional. You're not acting professional. You're not acting professional. You're not acting professional. You have an attitude with a minute.
Horde. Played into the path of Martinez, and now King. Northern Colorado with numbers ahead. And this is Rendon, one of the better final third creators in the league. Crosses too tight in the end on Romig. It has the aura of caginess. You would tip that man to unlock it. Bruno Rendon, a second-team All-League player a season ago. But right now, you feel the pressure surrounding this game. Tormenta looks especially tight. We've mentioned the recent struggles. Ian Cameron says he feels his side's numbers and especially goal difference indicate they should be winning about 50% of their matches. Says they haven't been up to snuff there, and that needs to change. Northern Colorado, though, streaking here. Here's Gill. Horde! Would have been hoping for better contact. Not too many looks will be better than that. You see this break. Gill played this perfectly, right into the path of Horde. He does shoot it a little off balance on his back foot. And that's perhaps why he's unable to get the proper power beneath it. It was a very appetizing opportunity that went by the wayside. This is Ramos, and now Walker, 34 years of age, but well up to scratch according to Ian Cameron. Dangler taking a nasty challenge to the legs there. Well, it was studs up, and perhaps the culprit Martinez fortunate to get off without a card. Dangler's an important piece of that back line. Let's get another look. It is a 50-50 challenge, and to Martinez's defense, it's hard to pull out that quickly when he was already committed. Either way, studs up, and it'll leave a mark. Dangler still trying to walk off the after effects. Well, he's had an eventful first half so far. Chelo Martinez, a couple chances in the final third. And an eyebrow-raising slide tackle that he gets off scot-free on. Our officials, Andrew Mushashi, the lead official, Hillis Waddell, the third, and Paige Bell, his assistants, J.J. Belinsky, the fourth official tonight. Well, we are at the midway point of this first half. Still no score between Tormenta and Northern Colorado. Tormenta, a team desperate for points. They have tumbled below the playoff line after spending the bulk of the year in the top six. Northern Colorado, it has been the inverse trajectory. Opened the year winless in their first 4 games in league play. They have turned it around rapidly and now have won 9 of the last 12 in all competitions. It's a team that has found its best 11 and has managed to snatch results even with the jaws of defeat bearing down on them. Ramos will draw this foul. Gill dangling the boot late. And it provides Tormenta with its first properly appetizing set piece. Ramos has been involved early. You see him just outwit Gill. Maybe exaggerates this one a touch. Either way, it does the job. As Gill is still prone on the pitch. You've got to wonder how many opportunities there will be to draw first blood in this one. Few and far between, approaching the half-hour mark. Steedman stands over it, and Gill now down to the pitch again. Well, the 21-year-old is still trying to shake this off. He was the aggressor in the challenge, but one that has been dealt the worst of the 2 physical fates. A man who's made 6 appearances for the Trinidad and Tobago national team. Someone who's scored in big moments for Hailstorm this year. Notably, the huge equalizer at the death. A stunning 25-yard strike that just cannoned off the crossbar. It was a late equalizer that salvaged a point after Fuego led 2-0 with 3 minutes of regular time remaining. Fans still out in full force tonight. A great turnout from the local Statesboro community. We'll be hoping to have something to celebrate. Opportunities in the final third have dried up thick and fast. It is a great support base. We've mentioned the title win in 2022. They packed this place to the brim in that match back in November of that year. It was a late winner that did the job. Jamil Roberts was the hero in that game off the bench. You're just about ready to restart here. Gill seems content to re-enter, but at the moment, Northern Colorado temporarily down to 10. It's Daniel Steedman, the former Virginia Cavalier, who will initiate this action. It's a low in-swinger, one that Martinez charges out of trouble pretty comfortably. Fans, the USL Super League is kicking off its inaugural Division I Professional Women's Soccer League in August. 8 teams across the country begin play tonight, airing exclusively on NBC's Peacock Network. An eventful opening day to begin another exciting professional soccer league courtesy of the USL. And if you're not checking us out here tonight, you might as well switch over to Peacock and watch that as well. Summer of soccer continuing here on the ESPN and Peacock networks. Here's Spengler. Looked ahead for Fonseca. Tormenta having trouble stringing things together in the final third. This is Stretch, Puerto Rican international. We've hit the half-hour mark. Still nothing to show for it for either side. You'd figure both managers would feel some things have to be altered. Ian Cameron's someone who has built a Tormenta dynasty in his 5 years. This year has proved to be an unforeseen challenge after missing the playoffs a year ago as well. But expanded opportunity with the league expanding to 8 postseason teams. It's been 6 for quite some time. Despite the struggles, it is a single point that pulls them back into the top 8. Although they'll definitely be hoping for more at home. That was the intention Ian Cameron at least expressed to me on the line this week. Gill, plenty of space to run into here, and he has support as well. Plays it to Martinez, and he left it dangling a touch. Just wrong-footed his Hailstorm counterpart. Garcia. Looking to switch the play. Unable to just pick out Oprah. King. What can he conjure here? He will win his side a corner, and much needed at that. Martinez getting more target practice, and this is a far more enticing situation, an in-swinger from this near flag. He's got King in the vicinity as well. He will bash it in. It's cleared only as far as Dietrich. King. Flashing low ball in. Sat up briefly. And Fonseca looking to escort out of danger. The referee blows his whistle, much to the chagrin of the visitors. And that one won't exactly win them any brownie points with the Northern Colorado players. Well, Ramos is clutching the back of his neck at the moment. One of the better engineers going forward for Tormenta tonight. We've mentioned Ian Cameron and the heights he has elevated this Tormenta team to. This is a Tormenta side that frankly struggled to reach postseasons prior to his appointment. And since then, Ian Cameron took this team to the highest of highs, won them the 2022 USL League One final last season, finishing just shy of the postseason by a point. And the aspirations are to get back. He's mentioned the constraints that surround the club. It is a club that is meant to provide a platform for players to advance to the higher ranks. And because of that, tons of turnover. Just one player prior to the signing of Thorne that had played on that team. Well, fans, whether you're a diehard soccer fan or just looking for a fun outing with your business, Tormenta FC offers something for everyone. And what's better than enjoying the beautiful game with your favorite people by your side? Book your next group outing by going to tormentafc.com/groups. We rapidly approach the business end of things in this first half. Neither side with any major chances. There have been eyebrow-raising opportunities both ways, but neither team putting their opposing goalkeeper in potential peril. NoCo looking to change that here with their third corner of the night. And it is Chelo Martinez once again. Here's his outswinger. It comes to the heart of the area, flicked along and just outside the reach of Rendon. He's finding the target. It's just about winning that initial ball. Well, you see here, this is decent placement on the cross. Was clearly looking for Lucky Oprah, and his flick on can't quite pick out Rendon. Night of frustration for both teams in their opposing penalty areas as Fonseca enters the book. The first Tormenta man to see the yellow card tonight. 50-50 challenge here. And Fonseca just persists and he kicks out at the end. That's what draws the yellow to his name. Yamazaki knew it was coming immediately. Speaking of frustration, he has cut the part of a frustrated figure tonight. A man who's revitalized his goal scoring the last 2 months. Very few opportunities for him to create anything of value tonight. Here's Martinez. Ushers it into the area. It's cleared only as far as Oprah. King. He's unable to outwit Spengler, who tracks back brilliantly. And a loose touch from King in the end. Well, it's an animated Ian Cameron at the moment. He understands the urgency of this moment for Tormenta. Someone who's spoken about inflection points in the season. He says the biggest thing is stringing a pair of wins together, something they've struggled to do all year. The lads just need to see 6 points on the docket quickly, and then he feels things will transform and turn around. Here tonight, it's all up for grabs. His counterpart, Ayman Zayed, meanwhile, has escorted Northern Colorado from a first-year team 2 years ago into one of the premier brands in USL League One. We mentioned last season's glaring successes. Gill floats this towards the back stick and would have been hoping for a bit more accuracy on the cross. Ayman Zayed's talked about it. This is a team that has been built on its front line throughout its history. And each season, a new star has emerged. It was Irvin Parra in the inaugural campaign, someone who's still on the roster. Then it was Trevor Ammon, who now is scoring goals for fun with Sacramento in the USL Championship. And now it's become Ethan Horde. They develop finishing better than arguably any team in the league. It's been a big reason why they've been so competitive throughout their 3 years as a club. Last season, unfortunately, they got eviscerated in the semifinals against North Carolina, but they were the eventual champs. And now no longer play a role in the league, having moved up. So it is all wide open this year. And the favorite is still to be clearly defined. Dietrich. It's won back by Spengler, and Fonseca was in space until the loose touch. Rendon links with Gill. And this is Real Gill. Unable to bypass the first defender. We rapidly approach halftime, and very little of note between the two sides. A combined 4 shots on target between the two teams, very few of which have felt they would actually travel into the back of the net. A testament to both center back pairings, frankly. Kilwen and Dengler, as well as Garcia and Evans, have snuffed everything out. But it has had the feeling of things turning a bit. Northern Colorado has enjoyed far more of the ball these last 20 minutes. And they've at least put Tormenta under pressure after an opening 15 where they really couldn't touch them.
Get that ball to the field, guys.
Well, you do see the possession numbers. It does still tell plenty of the story. But remember, it was 77-23 around the 20-minute mark. So Northern Colorado's established a foothold, and again, they're comfortable out of possession. A team that won with 3 goals on Tuesday night, despite possessing it only 39% of the match. They can break you down, but they almost prefer to not have to. Yamazaki, the new signing, and Horde is bundled over. One potentially final set piece for Northern Colorado in the first half. Is there a late twist which could open things up before intermission? It's Martinez who stands over it. Has been the go-to set piece option throughout the entirety of this season for the Hailstorm. It's an arcing ball towards the back post, and no questions about who would claim that. Composed half for Drew Romig. Not much to do, but has passed the few tests he's faced, including the Horde chance, which number 20 in white would likely love back. Oprah. It's forced back to Delgado, who has also cut the role of a spectator since the 20-minute mark. Dietrich. Played ahead. It's into the feet of Rendon. Drops the shoulder. Decent cross and far too tight on Romig at the end of things. One of the biggest things Ian Cameron actually mentioned about Drew Romig was his need to improve his instincts when coming to claim the ball. Here tonight, they've been impeccable. He's not overexerted himself. He's not come off his line too much. And he has not hesitated. It's made for a mistake-free performance. And in a match like this, where everything's been tough to come by, those are the ones that will garner the most acclaim from the coaching staffs. He's played a big role in minimizing any chances emerging and has put out any fires that have with considerable aplomb tonight. Rapidly approaching the 45-minute threshold. We await the word on stoppage time. It will be 3 minutes, which separate us from intermission.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 3 minutes of added time to the first half.
Yamazaki. Not quite on the same wavelength as Martinez. King manages to keep it in play. Oprah loses out though, and this is Watson. Walker played into the path of Steedman. One back by Rendon, and has a gaping pitch ahead. Gill, room to cross, takes it himself, and Romig is down to pounce on it. A decent counter, but not one that really troubled the man in yellow tonight between the sticks. Rendon beginning to grow into things, though. And while Horde has been on an island for large spells of the night, there are signs that the Hailstorm Avalanche could be slowly waking up. Vivas dinking it towards Watson and overcooked it at the end of things. Batman was under fire for about 15 minutes to open the game. Forced into a number of stops. Made one really impressive save at the near post on Vivas after it was one back off of Breck Evans. Since then, though, has been able to spectate, and I'm sure that's what he prefers. It is jaw-dropping. A man that has started every league match has managed just 14 saves on the year. That's more of a testament to his back line than anything. Back four, regardless of combination, be it Garcia and Evans, Fenwick, and anyone else, they've snuffed out opportunities, despite often playing without the ball for large spells. It is a tenuous balance, but one that Northern Colorado has struck well. And they're doing more of the same tonight. One final foray forward for South Georgia. Ramos. Charged away into the path of Martinez, and that's where we end our first half. Well, a first half in which chances were at the utmost of premiums. Tormenta the aggressor, Northern Colorado slowly growing into it over the remainder of the 45 minutes. But at the end of the first half, it's no score between Tormenta and Northern Colorado. A huge six-pointer Here in USL League One tonight, after 45 minutes, it is all square here from Statesboro, Georgia. Still plenty of room for improvement for both sides. The question, who will steal the points in the end, remains an open answer. Stick with us on ESPN Plus when we return the halftime show from Statesboro.
Do you still know how to fix one of these things?
Bullet man.
I'm building a team. Are you in?
I think Blue Lightning will want to come too.
You guys looking for real speed?
Hey, smart board, when you're done fixing that, Bullet kind of needs your help.
I need to try it first.
The Clubhouse in Statesboro, Southeast Georgia's best place to play. The Clubhouse in Statesboro, where fun is done.
Optum Health System's commitment to you has not changed. Unmatched safety and compassionate care. Others may talk about the new normal, but at Optum Health System, we've always provided high-quality, personalized care safely. If you have recently delayed your care, we want to reassure you we are prepared to care for you. Our absolute commitment to safe, high-quality, personalized care is stronger than ever. We welcome you back to Optum Health System.
Back here in Statesboro, where there's no score between South Georgia Tormenta and Northern Colorado Hailstorm at halftime. It was an eventful match week 16 in USL League One. Let's take a look at some of those standout moments. Youth. Flicked along to Lancaster. Oh, that's a stunner! Brilliant ball through. Youth doubles the lead. Lexington's caught fire on the break. And a 2-0 advantage before intermission. Progressive ball, driving effort, and a third for Lexington. Christian Liu Young on the score sheet. Charging through, he lays it off. It's an empty net, and Overton pulls one back. Much needed for the Jacks before the break. Sorensen. First time cross, it's into the danger area, and Charlotte has life. The Jacks have snatched one back. And Bouillou. Weaving inside, it's loose, Obregon, it's over the line! Charlotte's level! And it's that man who leads the league in scoring with the stunner.
Lineup. Water steps back, cross into the 6-yard box, a header! And that one's in for Fuego! It's Denbor Benson with the header. Team World Cup, Pedro Hernandez running, shot deflected into the back of the net. Well, that's one way to do it if you're Pedro Hernandez. Entered on the ground, in, and Central Valley takes the lead. What a huge goal by Jose Guerrera Garcia.
A looping ball in, headed back by Norte. Off the bicycle, what an effort, what a goal! How about the opening goal right there from Juan Galindres? Subbed on, Leonardo. Dos Santos diving, what a goal! Steven Dos Santos goes Superman and gets an equalizer in the 63rd minute. Schneider, ball in, beautiful ball, Dolabella adds another one to the scoreboard. Pedro Dolabella pass. Chips it on. A chance here. And roofed in. An equalizer in stoppage time for Ford Madison. And it's the former Owl, Jay Kroll.
Real Gill centers for Rendon. Rendon tries to center up and scores! Vignoles. Neil Vignoles steps up, tries to take a shot and a goal! We're level at 1! Neil Vignoles steps up to the plate and slots that one in. They deflect off of Ani, but it's up for grabs now as this Northern Colorado into the center area scores! 2 goals for Noco, and Ethan Horde gets his 7th of the year. Marky Hernandez comes across. Jara steps up, and that's the finishing nail for Northern Colorado. Noah Powder gets the 3rd. Out by Lodge. Shot from range, and it finds Peters. What a hit! The hometown hero hammers through and delivers the lead for Tormenta. All the way wide. Back into the box, Fonseca! Here's a shot, rebound to Miller, Andre Miller squaring, and that's a goal back. Louis Heel. That's a good ball, well weighted. Josh Doling has a go and guides his side back to level ground. The box from Daniel Steedman. It's a great ball, and it's an even better hit. Jake Dangler arrows it in. Oh, what a cut back from him. Josh Doling into the box and bouncing in.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Rebounding every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Deciding to go right up through the middle. A shot. Wow! Masango Akali. Long range shot from Nordy. Stopped, and that one trickles in.
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Hi, I'm Michelle Smith-Lang from Kids World Learning Center here in Statesboro, Georgia. Let us take care of all of your child care needs here at Kids World Learning Center, from your infants all the way to your after-schoolers. We also have a summer camp and holiday camp for those older children. And we have our brand new bus for our field trips, for the children to have fun and to learn and to explore new things all around our beautiful county. Thank you for trusting us with your most prized possessions.
We're through 45 minutes here in Statesboro, and what an eventful match week 16 it was. Those highlights were standout. Now just about set. Oh, okay, my bad. Let's let me redo that. Yeah, I don't know why I'm fumbling today. Let's take a look at news and notes throughout the league. Well, it's been a busy week throughout USL League One. The Women's Super League kicking off tonight as Lexington, Spokane, and Carolina Ascent all in action. And speaking of Lexington, a very busy week for them. They're nearing the completion of their new stadium and also announcing that next season they will move up to the USL Championship. It is an action-packed first week for Lexington. Meanwhile, AV Alta also cracking ground on their stadium. Let's take a look at the scoreboard around USL League One. The notable results last night. How about the Smoky Mountain Smackdown 4-1 knocks over Chattanooga. And, I mean, first game without Mark McKeever, no problem. They put up a season high for goals. Meanwhile, Lexington on the road getting the points with a dominant display against Central Valley. Those were much needed. Jumping into the team of the week, Andre Lewis. He is our player of the week after scoring 2 goals with an assist. And then as you look further down the squad, a pair of Northern Colorado players, Real Gil and Bruno Rendon, the 2 players who stand out for NOCO. That's all we have for match week 16. We'll be back with highlights and stats next. We return.
From hip or knee pain? Don't let the pain hold you back. The region's most experienced robotic joint replacement team at Optum Health System offers an individually tailored approach that is more precise and creates smaller incisions. For you, that can mean a faster recovery with less pain. Your comeback starts here. Call today to find out if robotic-assisted joint replacement is right for you.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, will be to save Bullock County from slow internet. To do so, you must recruit an exceptional tech team. They must be fast, reliable, and absolutely fearless. Time is of the essence. Bullock's internet is dependent on your success.
I need to try it first.
At Savannah Hilton Head International, you can choose from 11 different airlines, including Southwest Airlines, Breeze Airways, and Avelo Airlines. With up to 70 daily nonstop departures and over 30 nonstop destinations, Savannah Hilton Head International gives you more choices for a travel plan that fits your needs. Savannah Hilton Head International. Visit flysav.com.
We're back here in Statesboro where there's no score at halftime between Tormenta and Northern Colorado Hailstorm. A first half in which chances were at a premium, but we'll try to bring you the standout moments here from those opening 45 minutes. Well, we mentioned it. Chances were few and far between. It opened up with Tormenta dominance. There were some hard challenges. The first real chance, though, broke for David Garcia. Comes off of a corner that kind of breaks loose, and he just manages to smash one towards goal. But then Tormenta started to twist the screws. You see this in-swinging corner. It falls, and Aaron Walker has a good crack at this. It deflects, and Delgado sees it late. If that deflects a different direction, it could be 1-0 Tormenta. Their best opportunity of the match. They continue to pile on with some additional chances. This ball was fantastic from Walker to Callan stretch, and Fonseca just smashed it over the crossbar. He probably will want that chance back. Meanwhile, Ethan Horde will definitely want this opportunity back. A quick counter. He has space here and tries to hit it first time and just gets it all wrong. And then towards the tail end of the first half, one final half chance for Northern Colorado. Real Gil goes near post. It was ultimately read brilliantly by Drew Romig. So let's jump into those first half stats. We mentioned not a lot of chances. The number that sticks out, though, Tormenta, 64% of the ball. Now, that tells most of the story of the first half, but remember, in the final 15 minutes, Northern Colorado had much more of it. They were starting to grow into the match, and that possession number jumped by 13% in the final 20 minutes of that first half. Shots about even, shots on target are even. It's a first half where, frankly, nothing has been there to separate the two sides. The numbers tell the full story in that regard. We are just about set to resume action here from Statesboro, Georgia, one of the smaller professional sports markets in the United States. A packed crowd is hoping for better results from their home Ibises tonight. A team that once again is looking to notch just its second win in the last 13 matches in all competitions. Northern Colorado, they are rolling. Wins in 4 straight, 9 wins in the last 12. If they can find their way over the finish line tonight, they will establish themselves firmly in the top 6. Tormenta, meanwhile, it becomes a quest to just crack the top 8 once again. Two teams playing for a bunch around the playoff line. 2 points separate these two sides, and a major 3 hang in the balance over the course of these remaining 45 minutes and change. Will it be Northern Colorado triumphing again, or will Tormenta find their way to a much-needed victory in league play? Back underway here from Statesboro. Northern Colorado now going left to right. Tormenta going right to left. Well, if you tuned into that first half, the chances faded considerably by the final 20 minutes of the opening half, so to speak. Both goalkeepers were masterful. That man on your screen right now, Drew Romig, handled every half challenge pretty well. Claimed off his line well. Overall impressive performance for a man that opened the year as the backup goalkeeper. And making his case to be the starter. He does have 45 more minutes to weather, though, and you would figure a sleeping giant in this Northern Colorado front 3 will eventually wake up. Sam Goldfarb here. We thank you again for joining us tonight. It is the final match of match week 17. We showed you those results at halftime, and there were some eyebrow raisers. Now a chance for one of these two sides to put a brilliant bow on the match week. Here's King. Shuffling onto his left foot. As things stand, Northern Colorado picking up where they left off in the first. Smashed away by Walker. Delgado under pressure. Yamazaki escorts them out of danger pretty masterfully. Rendon now with acres of room. Not on the same wavelength as Real Gil. That has been the story when Northern Colorado has ventured into the attacking third tonight. Vivas. No whistle from the official Andrew Mushashe. When you analyze the 45 minutes that transpired moments ago, it was littered with half chances for Tormenta early on. And they lived up to the emphasis of Ian Cameron. Building with the ball, dominating possession, had nearly 80% of possession around the 20-minute mark. And the new tactics seemed to be working wonders. Now, they were struggling to create clear-cut opportunities, but there were chances. And then they kind of faded over the final 20 minutes or so of that first half. Northern Colorado opted to really control more of the possession at the tail end. And so that's why the possessional number is a little misleading. But now it just becomes a question of whether Tormenta can reestablish its control in the second half, and whether they can find a way through this really ironclad Northern Colorado back line. Here's Gill's cross. Martinez rushed into the play late, and he dropped Kilwine to the deck. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. And a man has been selected to enter the referee's book. That is Daniel Steedman, who comes in late with the challenge, the second Tormenta man on the ire list of the referee. First proper set piece of this second half for Northern Colorado. Well, there is the latest man to enter the book. Steedman, his first year back in the pros, took 2 years off after beginning his professional career with North Carolina FC in 2021. It's been impressive, a regular starter for Tormenta this year. The goal numbers don't jump off the charts, but he's more of a ball mover than a chance creator and has done his job admirably. I'm sure, though, like many other Tormenta players outside of Sebastian Vivas and Pedro Fonseca, they'd be hoping for a little more in the final third from both himself and many of his counterparts. But all things considered, it is still a team that leads the league in goals in league play. 24 goals on the season. They have sputtered out of the gate here tonight, though.
Joe, he's got to come back around you. Get stuck here, he's looking, back around you. Level.
Northern Colorado growing in confidence. Now building from the back, looking the part of Tormenta in that first half. Flag raised against Ethan Horde. Well, there was probably Tormenta's brightest performer in that first half, Aaron Walker. You saw him create the half chance that nearly deflected beyond Delgado, and also, really out of thin air, picked the pass that led to Fonseca's best chance with his switch of the play over to Callum Stretch. When talking to Ian Cameron this week about him, I did ask him, why do you think he wasn't with a club? Someone who was a regular for Rick Wright and John Harkes at the time with Greenville. And he said, I'm sure that Greenville was trying to mix things up and bring in newer faces as this comes into Sebastian Vivas. And it deflects. According to the fourth official, it deflected off of Vivas in front of goal. And Ian Cameron mentioned he was thrilled to find Aaron Walker in the transfer market. Someone who began the season without a club at 34 years old and said he's got plenty of ability and is definitely at the pace of the match, at the pace of the game. And when they had the availability to bring him in after the departure of Nick Akoto, they jumped at the opportunity. And someone who has brought a veteran presence into the fold since signing on July 25th and has impressed here tonight. It's no different when you consider the rest of the performers on both sides so far. Rendon loses out. And Ramos knocks it out of play. Evans. Progressive ball forward. And it finds Real Gil. Rendon. Cross did not have nearly enough venom, but it does go out for a Northern Colorado corner, their first of the second half. Those are the overlapping runs Hailstorm lacked in that first half. And that man Bruno Rendon starting to get into more space. You'd figure it's only a matter of time before he plays a pinpoint ball. They've mixed it up at the corner flag now. Chelo Martinez will make way for Jackson Dietrich. Second year with the club for the 28-year-olds. who dons the captain's armband tonight. Here's the in-swinger. Punched away by Romig. Fonseca is just unable to score out of danger. Fouled Oprah in the process. He's another man Northern Colorado is hoping will explode on the goal-scoring front in the final 2 months of this season. He's given Chelo Martinez plenty of options here. He's slowly been picking out the right delivery. This has some whip to it, and it found Rendon's head. True roaming off his line. Well, when you evaluate performers, he's hardly put a foot or a glove wrong. On occasion, punching it perhaps when he could have caught. Otherwise, though, someone who has looked the part of a proven starter in this league. And that is what he's trying to become. Watson gives chase. The Englishman. It is a beautiful night in Statesboro. Temperatures in the low 80s around kickoff as nightfall sets in from the borough. Weather has held off for the time being. There were questions over whether some inclement issues would set in. As things stand, Tormenta with work to do if they hope to negotiate their way out of an inclement run of results. See this challenge here. Kilwine, or just comes in late. Not much in it, but definitely contact. That warrants a whistle. Haruki Yamazaki enters the book. Now the second Hailstorm player on the list. And now Ayman Zayed may be drawing the referee's ire. Hailstorm's head coach is booked.
In the 57th minute of play, yellow card issued to Northern Colorado's bench.
I can't ask you anything. Are you happy then? You wanted to do that from the start. I asked him a question. You're asking me a question.
Ayman Zayed seems less than thrilled with the referee's decision. Walker. Now it comes to Ramos, and has options in front as well. Walker. We've spoken about the job Ayman Zayed has done. Someone who's built this club from the ground up in terms of personnel. And has done an excellent job retaining key players that are not named, of course, Ammon and Rogers, between last season and this one. Some of the new additions as well have hit the ground running and been very impressive. Chelo Martinez has been a really instrumental part of Northern Colorado's transition game and build-up. He's done an excellent job building a roster that can compete at the highest levels of the league. Someone who's just 40 years of age after taking the job at 37 years old. Finished his pro career after playing in the Irish ranks and scoring goals for fun there. Also played for the Libyan national team and was very impressive. He's fit in nicely in this league as a coach. The long ball to Watson is just off course. And Dietrich takes the challenge from Fonseca. Yellow card is out, and it appears it may be destined for Ajmer Spengler. He just comes in a step late. On another day, this isn't a yellow card, but the cards have flown thick and fast tonight.
In the 59th minute of play, yellow card issued to Tormenta FC number 21.
And it is Ajmer Spengler in the book. third Tormenta man booked tonight, second in this half. A choppy affair continues to get choppier. Spengler, a man out of Tampa, Florida, who impressed at USF a season ago. This season got off to a fast start with the Ibises. He's looking to rediscover some of the form that saw him obliterate defenses in mid-May. But cross comes in and floats towards Gill. Approaching the hour mark, and similar story characterizes the second half to the one we saw in the first. Evans. It's read well by Ramos. Cleared only as far as Garcia. Dietrich ticks it along. Flicked into Rendon. It's still loose. Oprah can't make quality contact on it. Watson breaking the other way. Vivas outwitting Dietrich. Northern Colorado recovering nicely. There have been bouts of transitional moments. Neither side properly able to capitalize. And that was the prime example of it. Garcia, long ball forward. He was looking for Horde. And a coming together with Jake Dangler. And the official is unmoved by either appeal. We've crossed the hour mark here in Statesboro. Two teams separated by well over 2,000 miles locking horns tonight. Fonseca's dropped to the deck. And finally, some substitutions being readied. And both clearly exhibit the intention of opening this game up. It's Jackson Corey and Curtis Thorne getting set to enter for Tormenta. Like-for-like swap between Ramos and Thorne. Welcome back, former USL League One champion, returning to the league after a one-year sojourn in the championship. Noah Powder replacing Real Gill, someone who scored the game winner on Tuesday night. So perhaps the prime suspect to change things going forward for Northern Colorado. Meanwhile, Spengler makes way for Jackson Corey, who was one of the best young players in USL League One a season ago.
Josh Ramos entering the match and making his return to Tormenta.
Someone who was the Young Player of the Year, as Curtis Thorne will garner a large applause. Played a key role in that title-winning side 2 years ago. Now makes his first cameo with the Ibises since returning on Tuesday night.
Entering the match, number 66, Noah Powder.
Steedman. And flicked along to Fonseca with plenty of space. May have overcomplicated it here. Corey. And here is Curtis Thorne. Room to cross as well. Cleared only as far as Steedman. And finally bashed out of danger. Well, these fresh legs have provided new life for Tormenta in possession. Switch of the play here. This is Callum's stretch. Corey. Rescued by Thorne. Links well with Corey. Watson. Thorne. Are there cracks in this obdurate Northern Colorado back line? Thorne seems intent on pressing the issue. Horde. Well, taking a dive into the substitutes, we have mentioned Noah Powder's late heroics. A man with 1 goal in league play, but scored the winner in the 77th minute. It was a poacher's finish to wrap up the points and clinch a berth in the Jägermeister Cup semis last week. He's on it now. Man who can play far upfield, or also can play as an attack-minded fullback. So dynamic, one of many returnees from last season's squad. Horde links with King, and this is Oprah. Decent looking cross. It falls for Oprah! And right into the gloves of Drew Romig. Powder had a good crack. One of Northern Colorado's better chances of the night. It comes off this clearance. It's won back well by Powder and puts his laces through it, but doesn't have enough altitude or venom to take it beyond Romig. He's been the far busier of the 2 goalkeepers since the restart. Has seemed unfazed by that issue, though. Oprah. Martinez. And now room on the break once more for Northern Colorado. Billy King is breaking through. Dietrich. Once again, the final touch of the ball has let down these forwards tonight for both sides. King hoping to change that narrative. Darting to the byline. Decent cross. Just ushered away before it could reach the head of Ethan Horde, who we all know is not shy about nodding it towards goal with his big frame. One back by Corey. And the late challenge from Yamazaki may draw the attention of the referee. He's on a yellow, and there's the second one. Haruki Yamazaki sent off. And somewhat surprisingly, Northern Colorado down to 10. Well, we mentioned he was on the yellow. This could draw the referee's ire. He goes for the ball, and he misses it entirely. And the 23-year-old out of Oral Roberts gets his marching orders with his second yellow. You can argue with it all you like, but it is consistent with the card decisions tonight. And Haruki Yamazaki dooms Northern Colorado to a man disadvantage for the remaining 20 minutes and change. Well, a 23-year-old who has impressed with Northern Colorado in his short time with the club. Someone who joined in late April. But here tonight, his evening comes to a premature end in the most unfortunate of circumstances. Tormenta side desperate for points gets to play a man up. Colin Falvey also entering the book for appealing to the referee. So it's been a card fest both ways. Both coaches, both primary coaches I should say, for the Hailstorm in the referee's book as well. Well, if you're just joining us, chances have been at a premium. Cards have not been. Northern Colorado is now down to 10 men, as Haruki Yamazaki receives his second yellow card. And now the Hailstorm forced into changes. It's Pat Langua, the Australian, entering, as well as Marky Hernandez.
First substitution, leading the match, number 6, Jackson.
It will be Dietrich who vacates.
Entering the match, number 15, Patrick Langlois.
So Langlois, who opened the year as a frequent starter, will get an opportunity, and Marky Hernandez, who's been a standout super sub all year for Northern Colorado, gets another opportunity to change the trajectory of this match. This is a man who scores big goals in big moments. For Northern Colorado, Marky Hernandez, you'll get a look at some of those big goals here. One of them coming at this moment of a crucial clash against One Knox. A flick on a header that falls into the back of the net. Hits the nice dance move after. Don't know if you call that a sachet or anything else. Either way, you call what he produced a goal, and he gets an opportunity to potentially steal 3 points on the road here tonight with Northern Colorado a man down. So Hernandez into the match, as well as Pat Langlois. Well, on the 70-minute mark, two changes that are relatively attack-minded. Hernandez, 28 years old, someone who's found the back of the net a couple times throughout his career with Northern Colorado. Last season was a standout in big moments as a super sub. He steps onto it now and has support in the form of Horde as well. Oprah, Martinez, surging ahead. Comes to the back post for Powder. Now shoves stretch into the billboards. Hernandez last season, 2 goals and 3 assists. And someone who has produced big goals in the Jägermeister Cup this season as well. Meanwhile, Langlois, a new addition, we mentioned, out of Australia, someone who played for Melbourne FC. Has made 10 starts in league play. Tonight, a rare stint on the Pine. Stretch. Looks forward to Vivas, who's been kept in order tonight. He's looking for Fonseca. Instead, it falls to Horde and has runners in support. Horde sprinting. Wants it himself potentially. He's hoping to thread it through to Powder, and the ball came a beat late. Fonseca hoping to counter the other direction. It's become a battle between the 18s at the minute. Thorne. Is this an all-out race to 3 points? Or will it be cagey late? Hernandez surging ahead. Darts it across, and it is outside the reach of Powder. And at the moment, neither set of attackers on the same wavelength. Fans can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Well, the fans still remain out in full force here in Statesboro, Georgia. Still no score between Tormenta and Northern Colorado, with both teams desperately hunting the points tonight. Northern Colorado having to do it a man down. Haruki Yamazaki shown a second yellow card about 5 minutes ago. And right now the Hailstorm have found themselves still throwing caution to the wind, looking for points. Ayman Zayed, someone who is used to grinding out results as a head coach. His side hoping to do the same here tonight. But plenty of work to be done playing a man down. And you've got to imagine the conversation here is about their final third execution. A number of counter-attacking opportunities that on a different day would materialize better. But right now, the wingers in the front line not quite on the same wavelength. You saw it moments ago, a chance that went begging that really was promising from the jump. On the other side of things, Ian Cameron has to be begging his side to establish a foothold on the possession front, especially being up a man. A team that opened the game sheerly dominant. Since the 25-minute mark, though, Northern Colorado has grown more and more into the match, and you've seen them create opportunities with large bouts of possession. One of those men, Pat Langlois, who's been inserted, is tasked with keeping the good momentum going. Back out there, and the question remains, does anyone have some late magic in them? We reached the final quarter of an hour tonight. How will the somewhat surprising red card affect things? Two teams have delved into their benches. Does anyone have any magic in their locker? Langlois playing it ahead towards Stretch, who is able to prevent a goal kick. It was Thorne who was just able to keep Northern Colorado pinned in their own half. Powder will escort this back to Delgado, who has had very little to do here in the second half. One back by Corey. Will that change now? Not at least for the immediate time being. Rendon. Hernandez. Came a bit hot off his chest. You see the XG numbers, and well, they do tell a lot of the story. Northern Colorado the better quality of chances, but neither side producing any particular quality of chances for the most part. Most of those, of course, coming in the first half. Here in the second, it has been a war between the 18s, and neither side executing around the penalty area. When you talk to USL League One coaches, a lot of them mention ad nauseum. The game is won in the penalty areas, one way or another. Neither side has won or lost it in that department tonight. Steedman. Walker. Kilwine is now venturing forward. Stretch. No one on the end of that cross. Nearly came loose for Horde, and now it does. It's Ethan Horde bearing through on goal. A number of black shirts in the area. Goes down. And did the referee just point to the spot? There was a whistle. And he may have just done so. The referee has pointed to the spot. Northern Colorado an opportunity to take a lead as Ethan Horde was bundled over. You get a look here. It did look like he sold it. Gets inside of Kilwine here, but no, there is contact. And even if he exaggerates it, there was none of the ball there from Jake Dangler. It will set up Marky Hernandez from 12 yards. A man who is known for his super sub antics. Can he give Northern Colorado a late lead here on the road. Huge moment in a scoreless match. Drew Romig forced to keep his side in contention. Hernandez against Romig. At a pivotal crossroads. Hernandez drives it home. Northern Colorado down a man, up a goal, as the super sub strikes once again. A night of frustration just grew that much more infuriating for Tormenta. Marky Hernandez's first league goal, and what a moment for it. It comes via this challenge. Cenk Dangler dangles the boot here. And Ethan Horde takes the contact. It was an immediate point to the spot from referee Andrew Mushashe. And this is such a composed penalty. Hernandez driving it into the bottom right. Romig guesses the wrong way. And suddenly, the team down a man finds themselves 10 minutes from a trio of points. It has not been the prettiest of performances. But right now, Northern Colorado won't care. 1-0, Marky Hernandez, the provider. And suddenly, it's back to the drawing board for a Tormenta side that is desperate to avoid a 5th consecutive match without a victory. Mason Tunbridge is in the match for Steedman. And that is an attack-minded change. A man who was a second-team All-American at San Diego this past fall. We have a breakthrough. Now the question is, does Tormenta have an ability to rescue the points tonight? Tunbridge charging it in Martinez's chest. Martinez is still slow to get up after that challenge. You see he wins the foot race here, and Tunbridge comes in late, just clips him at the heels. It's a side swipe, but it's one that still leaves some after effects nonetheless. Well, here is the new man on the pitch. He broke a 9-match goal drought last week. Scored the only goal in the Jägermeister Cup to open the scoring against Richmond. Ian Cameron is hoping he has some heroics left in him. Got off to such a fast start to the year as well. Powder. Slithering ahead. Crosses it. Takes a deflection all the way through to Oprah. Here is the current hero, Hernandez. Langlois. If you're just joining us, we have our breakthrough. It was an 80th minute penalty kick by Hernandez. Now Oprah sliding inside, cuts it across, just beyond the reach of Noah Powder. And he may pay the price for the late challenge. Powder whistled for the challenge. A very promising break here. Oprah does so well to keep this in play. And it's just outside the reach of Romig. If not for the really interference from Stretch, Powder may have doubled the lead. And I tell you what, right now Northern Colorado not playing like it's down a man. Nearly killed it off then and there. Tunbridge. And this is Curtis Thorne. We rapidly approach the closing stages of this one. And despite a promising start from Tormenta, A similarly unfortunate result stares them dead in the face. Corey towards the back post. Cleared only as far as Curtis Thorne. Floats into the area. And too much hand fighting in the area. Calling all first responders, family, community, and civic organizations. Tormenta FC is hosting their Community Heroes Night on Saturday, August 17th, and they want to recognize you at the match. Ensure your organization is in attendance now by going to tormentafc.com/groups to contact a representative today. Rapidly approaching the final 5 minutes here from Statesboro, Georgia. An air of uneasiness engulfs Tormenta Stadium at the moment. Northern Colorado down to 10 men, but they found the breakthrough from Marky Hernandez 12 yards away. Plenty of work to do for the hosts. Vivas. It's kept alive. Referee says play on. Walker. Now Tunbridge. Tormenta twisting the screws. Corey drives it low and narrowly whistles beyond that far post. One of the better moments of this second half from Tormenta, and it just goes begging. Corey drives this well, clearly aiming for that far post, just unable to place it. And now Austin Wenner looking to change the equation. A definitively attack-minded move, replacing Callum Stretch, the right back. Meanwhile, Connor Doyle, one of the veterans of this league, a former USL League One champion, replacing Aaron Walker. It is veteran for veteran in the heart of midfield.
In the 86th minute of play, we have 2 substitutions.
Will either of those two have their say what transpires here?
Exiting the match, number 6, Callum Stretch. Entering the match, number 15, Austin Wenner.
Wenner's a player that Ian Cameron's raved about. Started to break into the matchday squad around the turn of the month to June. Since then, has been a frequent contributor off the bench up front. He adds to the bevy of forwards on the pitch at the moment, with Tormenta desperately looking to rescue points. Tunbridge is one of those. Kilwine, way up from center back. Corey. Here is Wenner. Fonseca loses out. And one back by Wenner. Thorne, early cross, deflected. Falls kindly for Powder. It will no doubt be an onslaught for the remaining 4 minutes and change for Northern Colorado. Here's Corey. Charged out of danger. And a man prone on the pitch. It appears to be Chelo Martinez, who has put forth an industrious shift in the heart of midfield tonight. Referee may be waving him off the pitch. Well, the physio's out to check on Chelo Martinez, who's been solid tonight in the center of the park. Well, it's been a game where chances have been at a premium. We've said that a lot tonight. Here is what led to the breakthrough. Ethan Horde charging through on goal, outwits Dangler, sets up Marky Hernandez 12 yards from goal. Composed finish into the bottom right corner. No chance for Drew Omig, and that is what separates these two teams. That man had the reputation of super sub last year. He has delivered on that and then some in a game where neither team has really been able to carve out chances of note. He, as of now, is the man in line to be the hero with a big assist from Ethan Horde. Still time for Tormenta to at least rescue something from this. Thorn. Cleared only as far as Connor Doyle. A welcome sight to see him back on the pitch. Someone who is so sound in the heart of midfield when healthy. Fonseca lays this off well to Thorn. And the overlapping run yields a corner. We've hit the 90-minute mark.
That's a Tormenta corner kick. We need a goal.
Curtis Thorn looking to deliver late heroics. Tunbridge. It's a floating cross. And it's one that doesn't sit up kindly enough. Cleared only as far as Doyle. And Wenner is offside. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. 6 minutes of added time separate Northern Colorado from a somewhat unlikely victory on the road. Team that opened the night well and truly on the back foot has completely turned the tide here in the second half. And despite going down to 10, their perseverance did not wane. What a win this would be, a 5th consecutive if all holds. Hernandez floats it ahead to Horde in plenty of space. Numbers rushing back for Tormenta. It's still with Horde, and he left that one exposed for Dangler to touch and clear out of danger. Five minutes remain of added time. Watson. Thorn. Another cross comes in. Rendon deals with it confidently. Looking forward for Watson, and he runs out of real estate. It's been that kind of night for Tormenta. Fans, the USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Time running thin on the Ibises tonight. In a night where so little has broken their way in the final third. They find themselves staring defeat in the face. Two changes, Jake Keegan and Danny Robles will be the final alterations tonight for Northern Colorado. Ethan Horde vacates. Not an extremely involved performance, but he did win the penalty that currently has Northern Colorado in line for the 3 points. He's replaced by Keegan, a veteran of the USL ranks. Well, Robles, the former Seattle Sounders man, entering the action as well. He replaces Chelo Martinez, who was terrific tonight at protecting the back line, managed transition moments well in addition to that. And it is up to Robles and Keegan to lock up shop. Doyle. Looking for Wenner. It was a heavy first touch, which let him down. 2 minutes left to weather for Northern Colorado. On a night filled with adversity, down a man, they are still in line to see out the points. Garcia was brought down. Delgado will be in no rush to take this. It comes to Oprah, and he may be destined for the corner flag in a matter of moments. They're trying for one more. Hernandez in space. Corner on the way. Perfect outcome for Northern Colorado. Can play the game of keep away from here on out. Keegan will take it. And he'll take it short to Hernandez. And here is the game of keep away. Does Tormenta have time for one final break forward? It's all at the lead official's discretion at this point. On a night where he has made his imprint felt. Keegan. Offside flag is raised. We are now beyond the 6 minutes. And a critical challenge here. Kilwine. There will be time for one final attack. Tunbridge. Thorne. One final cross. Floated into the heart of the area. It falls for Kilwine. Darts it across, and it did cross the line. Tormenta finds the equalizer in the most unlikely of fashions. A point potentially rescued. It was Fonseca who bashed it goalwards, and it's Tormenta who celebrate. The elusive equalizer comes in the dying embers. It is a question as to who got the final touch. It was Fonseca who charged it goalward. And it's Tormenta who rescue a point. There is the final whistle. After falling down a man, Northern Colorado had the points in their hand, and two of them have slipped away. Tormenta with a late equalizer. It came off the boot of Fonseca, and the Ibises rescue a point at home tonight. It ends 1-1 after 90 minutes in a thrilling end to this contest in USL League One.
And that's the match. Your final score from Tormenta Stadium. Your South Georgia Tormenta FC 1, Northern Colorado Hailstorm FC.
Well, it's time for our Save of the Match presented by Vision Source, and it was an excellent stop from Drew Romig here on this near post effort. It was a quick break forward from Real Gil. Good interplay between himself and Rendon. Ultimately, Romig pounces on it. A big part of the reason why Tormenta was able to salvage a draw tonight. That was our Save of the Match presented by Vision Source. Well, it all ends 1-1 after 90 minutes. Late heroics from Tormenta to rescue a point, and they climb into the top 8 tonight. We will step aside briefly when we return. Full-time highlights along with the stats and analysis. All ends square in Statesboro.
Hi, I'm Michelle Smith-Lang from Kids World Learning Center here in Statesboro, Georgia. Let us take care of all of your child care needs here at Kids World Learning Center, from your infants all the way to your after-schoolers. We also have a summer camp and holiday camp for those older children. And we have our brand new bus for our field trips, for the children to have fun and to learn and to explore new things all around our beautiful county. Thank you for trusting us with your most prized possessions.
Optum Health System's commitment to you has not changed. Unmatched safety and compassionate care. Others may talk about the new normal, but at Optum Health System we've always provided high-quality, personalized care safely. If you have recently delayed your care, we want to reassure you we are prepared to care for you. Our absolute commitment to safe, high-quality, personalized care is stronger than ever. We welcome you back to Optum Health System.
I need to try it first.
Well, we're back from Statesboro, where late heroics from Pedro Fonseca have helped South Georgia Tormenta rescue a 1-1 draw tonight, despite all of the adversity they faced. But it was that man who put them on the brink of defeat tonight, Marky Hernandez, with the penalty in the 80th minute, which had seemingly wrapped up the points. But after that, Tormenta grabbing it at the death to salvage a draw. It wound up being a compelling 90 minutes, despite 80 minutes with very few chances. We picked things up early. Aaron Walker with a sensational ball, and then the cutback. Fonseca probably should have opened the scoring here. Boy, did he make it up later. Then Northern Colorado with some chances going the other direction. They really grew into the match around the midway point of the first half. Ethan Horde, first time hit. He gets it all wrong. And then in first half stoppage time, this quick break, you would have thought Real Gil could have potentially snuck it in at the near post. Drew Roman closed up shop. We entered halftime, tied at 0-0. And then the chances started to mount for Northern Colorado. This cross comes in. You see this effort here from Powder, which at least tests Drew Romick. Then after going down to 10 men, Ethan Horde outwitting Jake Dengler. He's brought down in the box. It sets up Marky Hernandez from the penalty spot, who slots it home comfortably to give Northern Colorado the lead. At that point, it felt like that was potentially it. Tormenta had so few chances, but then with one of the final kicks of the game, Pedro Fonseca rescuing a point. You see this driven back in by Kilwine. Fonseca ultimately puts enough on that first-time touch to take it over the line, and Tormenta able to save a much-needed point to elevate into the top 8. They seem destined for defeat. They find a way to get a draw, and now they enter the playoff places here tonight. That's where it finishes tonight, a 1-1 draw in which the chances picked up rapidly in the second half, but in the end it ends all square. A fair result. Northern Colorado went down to 10, found the opener, but South Georgia Tormenta the last laugh to rescue a point. It all ends square here at Tormenta Stadium. For Sam Goldfarb, we say so long here from Tormenta Stadium, where it ends 1-1 after 90 minutes and change. Thank you and have a great rest of your night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.